Recording in progress.
Good morning, Tebogo. Alan, are we correcting?
Morning, Chair. We only have 5 members. We
Okay.
only have 5 members on the platform.
Okay. Let's wait. The 6th member will join so that we can correct and start early today. It's going to be a very long day in Parliament with the debate of vote 1.
Chairperson, Mr. Hadebe just joined.
Okay. A bill. Welcome, everybody, members of the committee, our support teams in Parliament and National Treasury, SARS, and the media. You are all welcome. The meeting is officially opened. The purpose of today's meeting is to process the bill, the Revenue Laws Amendment Bill B5 2025, where we'll go clause by clause, deliberate, consider, and then ultimately adopt the committee report. Do we have apologies?
Yes, sir, we have apologies from Mr. Beasley and Ms. Alexander. Mr. Beasley is in another physical meeting, but he might join if that meeting ends early.
Okay, let's record those apologies. And then we move to
Chair?
item. Yes.
It's Mark Burke speaking. Sorry to interrupt. Just to note that I've sent a message to the secretary and also on the chat here. Honorable Alexander will be available if needed for a vote, but also attending a separate physical meeting today.
Okay, noted. Okay, let's move to item 3. Clause by clause deliberations of the Revenue Laws Amendment Bill B 2025, consideration and adoption of the committee report on the bill. Can you fly to the report?
We go through the bill first, sir, before we adopt the report.
Okay, please fly the bill. Can you expand it sideways so that it can be more visible? Okay, yeah. There we are. Let's start with go back a bit so that we can look at the object. Yeah. Okay. That is the object of the bill to amend Income Tax Act 1962 so as to amend certain definitions, to amend certain provisions of the Revenue Laws Amendment Act 2024, and to provide for matters connected with. Do we agree with the object? Agreed. Then let's move to clause 1. One start from A up to, is it H? Can you go down? Yeah, it's from A up to J. Let's go back so that we start at A. Yeah, there we are. Any comment on clause 1 from A to J? Okay, agreed. Let's go to clause 2. There we are, clause 2. Agreed. Okay. Clause 3. There we are, agreed. Clause 4. Okay, agreed. Clause 5. Go up. Okay. There we are. Agreed. Clause 6. There we are. Agreed. Clause 7. Clause 7. Agreed. Clause 8. Agreed. Agreed. Clause 9. The short title. Agreed. Can a member move for the adoption of the bill?
Sekwati, Chair, I've got a problem with raising my hand here on the gadget. I move for the adoption of the bill, Chair. Thank you.
Honorable Squati, move for the adoption of the bill. Any seconder? Any seconder for the adoption of the bill?
I will second it, Chair.
Dr. Beck, second. Any objection? Or a reservation? Honorable Van Ryn?
We reserve our position, Chair. Thank you. Good morning to everyone on the platform. Good morning, Chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Van Ryn. You reserve, then it will be recorded. With that, let's move to the report.
Chair, my apologies.
Honorable Mauti.
Yeah, sorry, I've been struggling to raise my hand. Please note the objection of the EFF.
Okay, Honorable Mauti. The objection of the EFF is recorded. Let's now attend to the report. There we are. Introduction. Introduction is 1.1, 1.2.
Chair,
Yes,
if we
Dr.
scroll down to 1.2.4 and 1.2.5, there seems to be a duplication of those 2 points.
Yeah, you are right. Thanks, Dr. Beck. Let's check out 1.25. Okay. Let's move to 2, public participation. There we are. 2.1 up to 2.5. Okay. Let's move to 3.
Chair, this is sort of a meta point on the report, but probably more importantly, Treasury's posture here. I want to note that we need to get this bill done. So this is more a recommendation into the report and on a general approach. The word cycle or legislative cycle, referring to the next so-called legislative cycle, appears 7 times in a 5-page document. And basically what Treasury is saying is, let's pass the bill now and we'll fix things later. Now, I understand they've been under some duress as a result of the delayed budgets and the like. But from a legislative perspective, it's far from optimal for us to pass bills with the intention of later improving them. We need to have bills that are purpose-made and ready to go, as opposed to, repeated references to fixing things in later legislative cycles. So I would recommend that we include somewhere here, if we're including that word so many times, that we also recommend from this committee side that we need to move away from trying to fix things in upcoming legislative cycles and instead make sure that when they come to Parliament, they're ready. I hope that that meets the approval of the committee.
Okay, Dr. Beck, where are you here in the bill? 2 point.
It starts in section 3, but as I say, it's mentioned 7 times, the word cycle, in reference to upcoming cycle. So it's more of a overarching point, and I don't want to mention it 7 times.
Okay. Treasury and SARS, can you respond to the issue raised by Dr. Beck?
Thank you, Chair. I do take the point, and good morning, everyone, Chair and honorable members. We do take the point as well that in some instances we had to fix some of the issues, more especially some of the technical corrections. I think the key issue at the time, more especially in relation to this bill, because Honorable Chair, you always recall that the key issue was to have this bill being finalized as of 1 September 2024. And we needed to then, in the late December, the issue that came up was the fact that we then needed to do a quick bill to cater for those ones who were over 55, wouldn't in any event now apply the 2 points regime. And then one of the key issues, and I think at some stage that where we said we're going to fix some of the small technical corrections, was already in this current year, I think, cycle, which is we're going to fix it in the taxation laws amendment. But the crux of the matter was that this bill itself was to try to make sure that the optionality is given to those members who are over 55, so that they know exactly when is evaluation needed to be done. But the point overall is taken that we will try and minimize any other technical corrections that needed to be made before the bill gets to the committee.
Okay, please attend to that with our team here, the legal, the content, and the research before we ATC the report. Okay. 3 up 3.1 up to 3.5.6.8. Yeah. Okay, great. 4. .1 up to 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 5 up to 4. Is it 4.5? There's no 4. Yeah, there's 4.6. Okay. 5. Okay, we are okay. Now the report is considered and be adopted. Any mover for adoption with those technical amendments that will be effected? Any mover for adoption?
I move that the report be adopted.
Honorable Khanyani moves for the adoption of the report. Any second? Honorable Squad. Honorable Squad.
I second Honorable Khanyani, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Khanyani, seconded by Honorable Squati. Any objection?
Thank you, Chair. Please note the objection of the EFF.
EFF's objection is recorded. Honorable Van Rooyen.
Please register our reservation as indicated. Thank you.
Okay, we'll do so. There is something that I want us to look at as this committee. This committee hasn't been exposed, to international study, what do they call them? Study trips or whatever, for quite some times. And I believe that there is a budget for every committee, as far as I know. I'm of the opinion that we should apply to the Speaker to have an international trip. So, of course, I'm not saying that let it be a subject for discussion now. We can do that later. I can request members that we look at countries where we'll be able to derive benefits in terms of their parliamentary system, be it lawmaking, oversight, and engaging the public. It might be countries which are in the same position with us, where there's a coalition government, or there might be an aspect of finance that will want to learn from one or two countries. So I will propose that members identify such countries and motivate why we should visit that country or those countries. And then we come back here, look at those proposals, then we draft a memo and send it to the Speaker. Probably September, October, if the Speaker grants us that permission, we can take that trip. Yeah, so let's look at that, honorable members. Other committees, as you might have observed, have been to different countries to study their systems and so on and so on. You derive benefits because you learn a lot. Like yesterday, the Deputy Speaker, Dr. Laureate, hosted the members of parliament from Vietnam. So Honorable Maumapelo and myself, we were invited to be part of the Deputy Speaker's team to welcome colleagues from Vietnam. It was an empowering kind of a meeting in exchanging how the Vietnamese parliament operate and how we operate here. We learn a lot, and the Deputy Speaker committed that at some stage she might lead a delegation to Vietnam. So please look at that, and then we'll discuss it on another day. I see the end of Dr. Beck and Honorable Van Rooyen. Dr. Beck.
Chair, thank you for sharing your thoughts on this. I am, in principle, very open to the idea of us learning, and it's a thought that has occurred to me too, that we are trying to inject democracy into a technical budgeting process, and perhaps other countries have done this better in the past than we've attempted in this cycle to do. So definitely not opposed to the learning. I just wanted to ask a question about the framing, which is that there's budget and we should do it. If it is solely for the purpose of learning and we are all feeling a need to understand this better from others, then that's great. But I'm very opposed to the idea of us traveling because there's a budget. I think in general, South Africans are asking for us to tighten the belt. And so I just want to make sure the motivation for such travel is absolutely necessary learning, as opposed to, there's a budget and if we don't use it, we lose it.
Okay, Dr. Beck. In doing so, in Parliament, there is a directorate called International Relations. They will work with us to motivate to the speaker. Why are we taking such a trip? And such trips, of course, are audited. There has to be value for undertaking that trip. So it won't be a joyride. It will be a trip that will be in the best interest of committee members. Honorable Van Rooyen.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, I welcome your suggestion. I want to obviously argue that this should not be an isolated activity from the committee's program for this year, but also for the medium-term expenditure framework period. I'm saying this because maybe using my cap as a participant in the Joint Committee of Financial Management of Parliament, we committees have been allocated 180 million just for this financial year. And each committee, I think select and standing committee, each qualifies for 3 million. So I think it will be important for us, of course, promoting the principle of transparency, but also promoting the principle of ensuring that the committee resources are used, to make sure that the committee fulfill its mandate accordingly. So it will be important for us. I don't remember us having a study session, or maybe as a committee, or maybe it happened, I might have forgotten. There's so much that is taking place. Outlining our plan as a committee for this year, or maybe for the term. I think it's important that the 3 million that has been allocated to the committee for this financial year, as to how we are going to utilize it, become the subject of this committee. So I'm going to submit to yourself, Chair, that instead of maybe isolating international trip as the only activity, let's have a more especially as a finance committee, let's have a more informed approach that has to do with enhancing or maybe ensuring that we become more efficient, but also prudential in terms of utilizing resources allocated to us. So my submission, my suggestion to the committee is that maybe through your office, let's have a clear plan on how we are going to utilize this allocation, because it's known we are allocated for this financial year 3 million. So let's get to know how are we going to use it ultimately to make sure that the committee fulfill on its mandate. I submit, Chair. Thank you very much.
No, okay, we'll do so. But thanks, Honorable Van Rooyen. Honorable Mazebuk.
Well, thank you very much, Chair. I think I'm partly covered by Honorable Van Rooyen. I think key to the budget we have as a committee, Chair, is to make sure that the committee is empowered in terms of the ability to do oversight and scrutiny. I think for me that is much important. Of course, the empowerment of the committee includes best practice learning from other countries that are similar to us, maybe developing countries and those that are developed. And in terms, I agree that the international trips shouldn't just be international trips because other committees are doing international trips. However, it should be a best practice learning whereby in return, the committees or after the trip, the committee would be able to make recommendations based on what the committee would have learned and based on the capabilities and the practices of our country. One. Number two, when we go to the international trips, we also there to I think it's part of the etiquette to promote our country, to speak good about our country. We've been to countries, some of us, where you would see that things are not going the way, but the citizens or the leaders of those countries would present a very good picture about that. I think us as parliamentarians, it is important that we also market South Africa as the best country for investments, especially because we are a finance committee and our main interest is the investors that would be coming to our country. So I thought let me do that input as well, Chair, to say it's not just about a visit or going, but it's about learning, and it is also about marketing our country for investments. Thank you.
Thanks, Honorable Mazibuko. Domestically, we still have an outstanding visit to SARS to look at the systems that they have put in place there. South African Reserve Bank, they are ready for us. Just to take us through the digitalization exercise that they are going through with the banks. Last time, we should have gone to Durban to go and look at the challenges of customs from there, OR Tambo, and then Bait Bridge. So there were areas that were targeted before. So it's not only the international trip, but even domestically, there are a number of areas that we have identified. So we'll outline that next time when we meet, that these are the places that we're supposed to visit here in the country. And then with your suggestions that you are going to write to the Secretariat here, look at the country or countries that we can visit and learn from those trips. It won't just be like we are touring or it's a joyride. We are going to derive maximum benefit, because we can't stay here in South Africa and think we know everything. We can't learn from others. We should be open to learning. And then we'll look at all the issues that members have raised here, including looking at the program for the whole year, and also breaking down the budget that is allocated to each committee. That will be done. With that, is there any announcement, Secretariat, before we adjourn the meeting? Because some members have to prepare for this afternoon sitting of vote one. Any announcement?
We don't have any announcements.
No, okay. There's no announcement. Thanks, honorable members, colleagues, our support teams, and the SARS National Treasury. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chairperson.